Hi all, Richard here. So marketing can be a bit of a wild west situation. Sometimes you're going to get campaigns that work really well, and sometimes you're going to get a big flop, right? I've done a ton of flops in my career so far, and really good campaigns as well. And I spoke to a colleague recently, and we both kind of summarized 5 mistakes that we've made, as well as we've seen other people make, the most common mistakes that people make. So hopefully this video helps, especially if you're new. But even if you're an experienced marketer, this could be a good checklist so you don't make those mistakes in your next campaign. So hopefully this video is going to be really quick, and let's get straight into it. Okay, mistake number 1 that I've seen a lot of marketers make, especially like I've done it myself, is having the wrong targeting. Now, I did it, for example, with a new startup that we acquired from our company, and we actually got the targeting persona wrong. We went for for example, let's say someone in the cybersecurity field, where we were actually looking for someone in the fraud field, right? Two very different personas, but we went after the wrong person. Now, in your case, you could be running a small business, for example. You could be a hiking facility. It could be a cycle bike shop. And you need to think about who you're targeting. If you're going after someone who prefers to be indoors, well, then you're probably going after the wrong person, unfortunately. You want to go after the low-hanging fruits. And this will mean that your results are going to be better, and you're going to be saving a lot more money going after the right person. Even big companies like KFC, Chipotle, Target, Walmart have different criteria for targeting. KFC is not going to go after someone who's a vegan, for example. That's a really simple example, but gives you an idea of the fact that how important targeting can be for your business. Mistake number 2 I've seen is not having a strong enough call to action. Now, this doesn't apply to all marketing campaigns. For example, if you're a branding campaign, sometimes you don't really need to do any of that. But if you're a business and you have every dime is really important to you, well, a lot of times you're doing marketing that requires a call to action. For example, you want them to make a sale, or you want them to, be a lead, download something from you. So your call to action needs to be very clear, right? So if you're running digital ads or running, an email campaign, you need to make sure that whatever the goal of that campaign, there's a clear next step. If you don't have a clear next step, it's going to be convoluted, and you're going to be wasting effort on that marketing campaign. So make sure to have a strong call to action, which basically just means have a strong follow-up. Are they going to sign up to something? Are they going to buy something? Are they going to download something? Make sure that's clear. Now, the problem I've seen in number 3 is companies marketing their features rather than problems. Now, this could be something, for example, Slack does this really well. They go after a problem. They say, you have too many emails, so we're going to reduce those emails by giving you pretty much a tool so you can message your team internally, right? They're not going to go after and say, we have 300 integrations, 500 integrations. Yes, they do that like on the later stage of the journey, of the marketing journey. But at the early stage when no one's heard of Slack, they went, you know what, we're just going to reduce your email clutter by a certain amount of percentage. That's the problem. And I get hundreds of emails every day, so if they can do that, I'm interested. I'm going to check what Slack is, and obviously now everyone knows what Slack is. However, that's how they did their marketing early on, and even now, to be honest. And that's something you need to keep in mind. Stop emailing, or stop telling me about the features of your product. Tell me about what problem I'm going to be solving. Sometimes customers don't even know that they have a bad problem, right? So you need to make sure the problem that you're trying to solve is very clear and very articulated quite well in your marketing. Okay, mistake number 4 I've seen is people not utilizing multiple channels. Now, what this means is a channel is just simply, it could be something like Facebook, could be something like a social media, could be like an email, could be a TV ad. These are all channels for your marketing. Now, I'm going to read a stat here. I want to put it on screen as well, but brands using 3 or more channels in a campaign enjoy a 287% higher purchase rate than those with a single channel campaign. Basically, this means that if you're saying, I want Google only, I want Google ads only, versus someone who goes, I want Google, I want Facebook, I want email. Those brands are going to be achieving higher purchase rates because they're engaging customers across multiple channels. It's all about brand, to be honest. If a customer sees your brand on Google, they could click into your ad, they might forget about it. But if they see you on Facebook, they might go, okay, I remember that ad. And if they see you send in an email, oh, okay, I remember that. Eventually, you're going to get to a point where they know who you are and they might engage with you finally, right? And marketing is a game of attrition. You need to try to get them to click on something, you need to get them to engage, and doing it on one channel isn't going to go that far for you, to be honest. Being able to go across multiple channels will help your marketing. And there's so many easy channels to go after. You got organic social, you can post on your Facebook page, Instagram page, emails. There's so many great things that you don't need to pay for.
and you should be putting that in your strategy whenever you're doing a marketing campaign. And number 5 is not having a plan. It's really silly and it sounds kind of like, why? I mean, I have a plan, but do you really have a plan? A plan is something that's end-to-end. You're going to tell me exactly how you're going to start off, what channels you're going to use, how you're going to reach there, what's the KPI, what's your goal, and how you're going to follow up, and how you're going to do the post analysis. You need all of that. That's a plan, right? A plan isn't, I'm going to market to, you know, these people here, I'm going to chuck money into Facebook, and let's do it. Let's go now. That's not a plan. That could be an action, but what's everything else? What's happening around it, right? How are you going to make sure you're going to achieve those goals, make sure you're doing the reporting properly, and making sure you're doing the setup properly, right? That's a good plan. You need a good plan in hand, which is why I love putting together kind of like a campaign brief. I like to, you know, get a PowerPoint out and just chuck out everything in a slide, so I know what I'm doing, so I can even go back to that plan and go, okay, have I done this? Oh, no, actually no, I missed this channel here. So it's really good to have kind of a plan, whatever campaign you're running, because honestly, as marketers, we get not enough budget, we don't get enough resources, to be honest, and we're running all the time without, you know, walking, to be honest, a lot of the times. And sometimes you do need to slow down a bit, and you need to create a proper plan and just spend some time on it. And that time you spend on that plan will actually save you time later on when you need to retract and figure out what you did wrong, for example, because it's going to help you on the long run. It's like following a blueprint, right? So yeah, have an actual plan. And that's it. 5 mistakes which I've seen, which I've all made. I'm going to be honest, I've made all these mistakes myself as a marketer. I've been in the game of marketing for a decade now, and I've made tons of mistakes. But these 5 I've seen are pretty common. Like all my colleague has done all these 5 as well. Sometimes just over relying on a channel, not thinking ahead, not having a plan. It's common things, and eventually once you figure things out, you kind of have like a rhythm that you kind of go into. And hopefully this video helps you as a marketer, as a business owner, as a startup operator. Like, hopefully this video does help. So yeah, leave a comment below if you think I missed any mistakes that are common as well, and I'll see you in the next video.